Hello everyone, I'm Svetlana and you are on my educational channel. I'm glad to see you all. So, today I'm going to read you a fairy tale. As I understand, the most popular among my subscribers are fairy tales. So, today the fairy tale is Cinderella. Let's start to read. What kind of person makes a really good friend? Someone who is kind and generous and honest and fun. Once upon a time, there lived just such a girl. She deserved to have lots of friends, but in fact, she had none. The girl's mother had died when she was young, and her father's second wife had two daughters. These new stepsisters were unkind in every way and treated the girl as their servant. Not only did she have to cook and clean and do the washing and mending, she even had to sleep by the fire in the kitchen. Her clothes were full of cinders and ash, and her stepsisters called her Cinderella. One day, they came to her in great excitement. "The prince is holding a ball at the palace," they said. "He's inviting all the young women in the kingdom. Here are the clothes we are going to wear. So hurry up and iron them perfectly. We want to look gorgeous." Oh, sorry. We want to look gorgeous. Cinderella set to work. All through the day, the stepsisters found more things they wanted done. Polishing their dance slippers, untangling their necklaces, fixing their hair. She even helped put on the makeup they needed to hide their spots. Then the stepsisters swept away to a waiting coach. "Oh dear," sighed Cinderella, "I would have loved to go to the ball. I like music, I like dancing, and most of all, I like to make friends." She sighed. A log cracked in the fire and sent a shower of sparks up the chimney. Oh, among the sparks stood a woman who curtsied and smiled. "I'm your godmother," she said, "and you shall go to the ball." She stepped out of the fire and tapped a pumpkin. It rolled out of the door and became a gold coach. Then she tapped two mice, who became horses, and a rat, who became a coachman. "Nearly ready," she laughed as she waved her hand over Cinderella. "And remember, you must be home before midnight." At once Cinderella's rags turned into a sparkly gown. The ashes in her hair became jewels, and her wooden clogs became glass slippers. When Cinderella arrived at the ball, everyone turned to look. Her clothes were amazing. Her hair was amazing. Her shoes were amazing. Her dancing was amazing. Most amazing of all was her kind smile and her pleasant way of talking. "Who is that girl?" whispered the stepsisters, as the prince asked Cinderella to dance. And which dance school can have taught her to be so graceful? She's so perfect. She's annoying me. Cinderella and the prince danced all evening. Then the clock began to chime. The tune it played at a quarter to the hour. "Oh," said Cinderella, "I must be away before midnight." "Come to the ball I'm holding tomorrow," called the prince as she hurried down the palace steps. The next day, the stepsisters were in a terrible sulk. "The prince didn't even notice us," they complained to Cinderella. "So, for today's ball, we want our ball gowns made into something spectacular. And you have to dye our hair something wow and do our makeup so we look extraordinary." Cinderella did everything they asked. Secretly, she thought her stepsisters might be trying too hard. They were beginning to look like something out of pantomime. But they seemed happy as they drove away in their coach. Cinderella was happy too when her godmother appeared again. She set off for the ball, looking as lovely as a fairy tale princess. The prince asked her for every dance. What a girl, he thought. She could dance. She could make conversation. She got on with his friends. She was just lovely. But because of all the fun and laughter, Cinderella did not hear the clock chime until it began the tune before the hour. "Oh dear," she cried as she fled out of the door. "But before you go," called the prince. Too late. Cinderella was gone before the prince had reached the palace steps. All he found was a glass slipper. He picked it up. "I shall find the lovely person who was the slipper," he declared, "and I shall ask her to marry me." The next day, he set out to find the girl who had worn the glass slipper. At last, he reached the house of Cinderella. The stepsisters both declared that it was theirs, and they began to bicker right in front of the prince. Then he saw Cinderella back in the kitchen and waved at her. She came forward with a smile. "It's so good to see you," she said. "Magical even. The slipper came from my godmother. Look, here is the one of the pair that stayed on my feet." Then the prince went down on one knee and asked Cinderella to marry him. "Of course I will," she said. Then she turned to her stepsisters. "I hope you will be my bridesmaids," she said. "Then we can all be friends and live happily ever after." The end. So, what do you think about this fairy tale? Mm-hmm. Do you like Cinderella? Mm-hmm. So, if you like this fairy tale, put a like, because through your likes, I understand if you like what I did for you. So, and subscribe if you haven't done it yet. And Goodbye for now. See you soon with new videos.